Okay, so I have my drawing traced onto the tracing paper. If it's important to you that your image faces a certain way, remember anything we put on the block needs to be backwards. So what I like to do, because I'm not very smart, is I like to just automatically flip it over. That's why I do the outside lines. I can line it up. Sometimes I'll just trace my block so I know it's exactly that size. But I'll line up my drawing onto my block and I'll use my tape. You can use the same pieces of tape or you could get new tape. Sometimes I'll just use the same pieces of tape like I'm doing here. So it doesn't slide around. Once in a while I'll put the tape underneath my linoleum too, so as I'm drawing it doesn't move about. The piece of transfer paper has a matte sort of side that's darker and this back side that looks more slick and a little bit lighter. You want to tape your drawing down first, then raise your hinge taped design and drop it down. Now I like to use a pen so I know where I've traced. So now I'm going to trace those lines again and it'll transfer. You do not have to transfer a drawing. You can draw directly onto the linoleum. Although I have noticed it takes a limited amount of erasing, so you should have a pretty good idea of what you're going to do. Sometimes the eraser will just kind of make it a little really shiny and kind of discolor your linoleum, and you'll be disappointed with that right away. It doesn't tend to affect the printing of it or the carving, but it does really mar the surface. I usually press down firm, but I'm not pressing so hard that it's causing me to get really tired or fatigued as I'm doing this. And again, these are just marks I'm going to use to guide me once I get to the Sharpie version. You want to have this thing completely Sharpied out with all the design and all the value range before you do any carving. It really helps have a successful print. Sometimes it's a little tough to see your drawing on the tracing paper. Instead of a pencil, you could always use a pencil and then go over that pencil with a black pen, and I've noticed that helps a person being able to see their design a little bit better through it. So now before I take anything off, I will just lift it and see how much it's transferred to the block. Once I've done that, I can get my Sharpie out and start going all over those lines. If you decide you don't like what's on there, you can take an eraser and try to erase and correct things, but it's not really necessary unless you're completely changing what you're trying to do. So this is the point where you should spend a lot of time completely sharpieing out, or as I call it, tricking out your image with all your detail. It should look completely ready to go, meaning all of your detail and cross hatching's on there. So as you see, I'm just going through and putting all of my lines that I've transferred on there. I'm not going to make you watch all of that. When we come back, my linoleum will be completely ready to start carving, and I'll show you how to carve in the next video. Thanks.